little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, wear a hat, sometimes play chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling. But all complexions that I adore, so hard to find, these seem impossible to score. So I dream on to someday find that vintage love.
Hi friends! Today I would like to talk about Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day. Miss Pettigrew is a governess. Her life hasn't been very good, but then she gets to know Miss LaFosse, and over a period of 24 hours, her life changed forever. I was really touched by Miss Pettigrew and also by Miss LaFosse. I think it is a beautiful friendship. They have a magical encounter where Miss Pettigrew finds what she was looking for, what she needed. Her life had been really difficult. She had really suffered a lot because she hasn't had a life. She just worked in a very hard job and she has not had friends or nice things like many people have in their lives. I think Miss Pettigrew was looking for something and also was needing something, and this magical encounter happened. She met Miss LaFosse, and Miss LaFosse is a really different person than Miss Pettigrew. She lives under really different circumstances. Her life seems to be much more exciting and much more interesting. She has beauty, she has youth, she has money, and she has an interesting, exciting job. And so their lives are really different, but both of them need something. Miss Pettigrew needs love, the love that a friend or a family member can give you, and Miss LaFosse also needs love and care. She has achieved a good life in many aspects because she has a job she loves, but she tells Miss Pettigrew later that she has never had a mother, that her mother was not nice to her, so she has never experienced what it means to have a mother. When Miss Pettigrew cares about what will happen with her, when Miss Pettigrew tries to help her and cares really deeply about which man Miss LaFosse will marry, because Miss Pettigrew wants her to be happy and wants her to have a life full with love. And so when Miss LaFosse sees that, she thanks her because she has never experienced this kind of love, someone who treats you like a daughter. So I think this encounter is just magical. Miss Pettigrew was open, although she has had a very sad life. It could have been possible that she's really close to new experiences and new people. She's not. She was open for new people. She was open to give love to strangers. And when she sees that Miss LaFosse is having a big problem that can affect her whole life and her whole future, she just jumps in the situation. She feels immediately the need to help her. We don't get to know a lot about Miss LaFosse's life, but it could also have been that because of her experience with her mother, that she would be also close for new people, and she would be also close to give love. But she gives Miss Pettigrew love in a very different way than Miss Pettigrew gives Miss LaFosse love. She gives Miss Pettigrew really attention, and she treats her like an equal. And that is what Miss Pettigrew really needed. Although she has a good heart and she's not close to all people, she has suffered a lot, and she has had a very sad way of growing up. She was really poor and she couldn't develop herself as a woman, and she needs this attention that Miss LaFosse gives her. Of course, she's also not perfect, and I think there is some maybe egoistical part in there, but she's not just interested in her help. Miss LaFosse has an open heart for her and has lots of love to give her, lots of attention. She treats her like an equal and takes her to the party where Miss Pettigrew gets to know maybe the man of her life. That's really a gift that Miss LaFosse gives Miss Pettigrew. If she wouldn't have treated her like an equal, Miss Pettigrew wouldn't have had the opportunity to get to know Joe, this man. And if Miss LaFosse would have behave in a different way, in a really distant, cold, just egoistical way, selfish way, then Miss Pettigrew wouldn't have had the opportunity to also to experience something nice and for the first time, something beautiful, something that really helps her to change in a very in a how can you say, to change in a way that it is not for the day but also for her future. So it is just this fact that Miss LaFosse has love for her, and she at the end she says, "Oh, I didn't want to know what you are doing here because maybe that would have ruined it." Miss LaFosse is someone really special. She's really eccentric and maybe not mature in some ways, but she has this love, this respect for other people, in this case for Miss Pettigrew, and she calls her Winifred, which is really nice because also with this way of calling her, she treats her like a special person, not just like a stranger or employee. Miss LaFosse has this special feeling, this positive feeling that helps Miss Pettigrew to come out of her, how can you say, of her cave. If it wouldn't have been for that, then Miss Pettigrew wouldn't have been able to grow and to develop. Miss Pettigrew grew up in a way where she has really strict rules of what politeness means, and many times she doesn't think about herself, but she thinks first about what should be polite. Many times she seems to think, on the first place, about the others, but not about her. She doesn't have this balance to be able to be really polite to the other people, but also to be kind to herself and to think about herself, not to sacrifice herself always for the others. The way she grew up hasn't allowed her to develop more self-love. It was really touching how at the end, although she has helped Miss LaFosse very much and she has been treated in a really nice, warm way, the first thing that she thinks is, I have to go away. I cannot continue to be a nuisance for Miss LaFosse. The day was a treasure and I will always remember it, but I don't want to be a nuisance. I have to go away. That was really a shock because I think maybe she should have at least asked to know what the other person thinks. But Miss LaFosse knows how to treat Miss Pettigrew, and she treats her in a very warm way, where she just let her feel that she is welcome and that she is loved and that she is someone important and that she respects her and wants her friendship. That was really touching. I really enjoyed this book. I really felt for Miss Pettigrew, and I'm so happy that she got a new life, a new future, and that she could develop herself and find out who she was. I am very glad that her really positive characteristics could come out due to the fantastic day that she experienced, and I am really glad that now she has a new life, really friendships, and it is so touching how she is so happy about the idea of having a job that she enjoys and be surrounded for people that she likes in a really nice environment where she has people who care about her. I just would recommend for those who had not read the book to give it a chance. I think you will sympathize with Miss Pettigrew. It is a deep topic of lost opportunities, lack of love or of family, lack of money. This book is at the same time funny, entertaining, most of the time lighthearted, but it talks about something very real and a topic which many people in some degree can relate to. So I wish you lots of fun reading Miss Pettigrew, and I would like to hear your opinions and your experience reading this book.
little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, wear a hat, sometimes play chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling. But all complexions that I adore, so hard to find, these seem impossible to score. So I dream on to someday find that vintage love.